Hey, darling friends, Laurel, Bleadon-Maffei with Illuminating Souls. Today is April 28th, 2015, and I'm making this as an energy update. Just so you know, this is the fourth time I'm making this recording, and the phone has been ringing, things have been beeping, doorbells have been ringing, and so this is my last try. So if this is meant to go out into the world, this will pull off without a hitch. So, um, there's so much upheaval going on in the world right now. And I think for those of us who are light bearers and empathic, it's impossible not to feel it. The first inkling I had of this energy was that volcanic eruption in Chile that happened last week. And this was a volcano that has been dormant for 40 years. And when it erupted, the ash and the lightning and intuitively I could feel this energy, and I could just feel how big it was, and I didn't know how it was going to play out, but I knew that it was there. And then on Friday, a different kind of big transformational energy for me I experienced in the Bruce Jenner interview that aired on Friday night here in the US. And um, profound. I grew up with Bruce Jenner as being the Olympic athlete in the decathlon, and I've certainly seen a few episodes of the Kardashians and have been reading um, reports that he's transforming into a woman, that he's transgender. And so there was this interview that had been scheduled, and I, like a lot of you, I tuned in. I was curious about what he was going to share. This is such a huge change. And through the course of the interview, and really in the first, I think, 2 minutes of the interview, what I was struck by was the beauty of his soul and how deeply I felt love for him, love for him. And I could feel how millions of other people were feeling that too. And just the 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 nature of his journey and how difficult it has been for him, and the people who've loved him. And I'm using the masculine pronoun. In the ABC interview, they said that he said that we people could use the masculine pronoun until he emerges as his transformed self, as her. So that's why I'm using the male pronoun. It's not a sign of disrespect. um and just I went to sleep thinking millions of us are never going to experience someone who's transgender in the same way ever again, that it will be impossible not to experience empathy, compassion, understanding, and acceptance as a result. So moved by what he shared. And then woke up, like many of you, to the news of the tragic, horrible earthquake in Nepal on Saturday. There's not much I can say about that other than my heart breaks for them. All the people who are without homes, who've lost their lives, who've lost their loved ones. Um, it's going to take many generations for that country to rebuild, and for the people to find a new sense of normal. And living in California, having been through my own earthquake trauma and experiences, I just have deep empathy for people who experience earthquakes. I've been blessed to never have experienced anything to that degree, but I've been in enough of them to know how terrifying they are. So again, a lot of empathy, a lot of light being sent to that region. Um, and then here in the U.S., um, we've had terrible riots in Baltimore as a result of um, a young man who died while in police custody. So what all of these have in common is they are eruptive. They're um, game changers, life changers. Um, on a personal note, for me, how it played out is unexpectedly, and I won't share the details with you because you don't want to know them, but um, I got pretty sick over the weekend with a bad case of food poisoning. I have not been that ill in at least 10 years. So it showed up that way for me. But a few things that I'm aware of how this may be showing up for many of us is I think many of us are feeling very fatigued. Um, there's something, there's something in movement. Something is in play right now. And it's not all dark. It's not all shadow material, but certainly if for the people who are living in the impacted regions, it is. So I don't mean to make it sound at all wash that, try to whitewash that or tie it up in a pretty bow. It's devastating what people in those regions are living through. For others of us, though, for instance, I can feel that we're being ramped up to something more. Um, this is going to be a time of cleansing, of clearing, of shaking our foundation so that we can step forward in a new way. For instance, in my life, I don't know how this happened, but there's a convergence happening. I'm enrolled in 4 different classes that all start the first week in May. Um, and each one is a game changer in its own right. It's going to be intensive. It's going to require a ton of energy. And each one I got such a clear yes on. I mean, yes, like the way I felt when I started my master's degree in spiritual psychology, the way I felt when I signed up for Doreen Virtue's classes. Yes, 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 this is what you're supposed to do. So, and I'm teaching classes too. So it's just such an interesting time of movement, of it's like the whirlwind of energies are 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 creating this vortex that is transformational. So here's how you can take care of yourself. Um, if you are feeling fatigued and overwhelmed and you suspect that it has to do with world events, as light bearers, what happens is we often, part of our light bodies goes over to those impacted regions to be of service. You may not even be aware of it. So one of the things you can do is to call your energy back and ask to be taken off duty. Wes and I often will do that. We'll go off duty for about 48 hours. There's always an abundance of support, so it's not as if we're leaving anything unattended, but it just sort of calls the energy back to center so that we can regroup. So calling your energy back is great. Taking some extra time for some meditation, making sure you're getting in good nutrition, um, staying away from toxic conversations and situations. This is not necessarily the time to have a confrontational conversation with anybody. I'm not big for confrontation in the first time, but in the first place, but this is not a good time for it. And let everything settle down a little bit. Do your prayer work. If you don't feel like you can get to your own prayers, call a prayer hotline, have them pray with you. Where we can bring our energy together, wherever 2 or more are gathered, the energy is higher. So anything we can do to bring our energy together as a collective is terrific. And just know that our angels are with us right now and we are being supported. And to the people who are living in regions that are being dramatically impacted, I don't know that they would ever see this, but I just feel like I want to send it out into the world just to know that you are in our hearts and in our souls and in our prayers. And um, we as a people are with you, as humanity, as the collective. We are with you in what you're going through. And I just always keep thinking there, but for the grace of God go I. So living in a region that has had earthquakes and certainly living in Los Angeles during the riots, it's like we all get to experience a lot on this planet, and hopefully when we're down, others help us up, and when others are down, we can help them up, and that's a way we support each other. So my gorgeous friend, wherever you are on your own journey today, I send you love, and I send you light, and I send you gratitude for who you are as a divine being in human form. I want you to know that I love you very much, that you matter, that your life has meaning, and that I'm so grateful to share this journey with you. So namaste. Have a blessed day. Thank you.